Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Wild Chats, your home for everything animals. I am Ryan. That is Maria. Oh, wait, my camera's flipped. That is Maria.
That is Maria.
Yes. It's been a little warm outside. It's been a little hot and sweaty and muggy. So I think I've said this in a video before, but usually when it's hot out, I like to watch like snow videos and stuff. I like the opposite of whatever's going on outside. So I don't know. It feels like it brings my own body temperature down or up, depending if I go with the opposite. So today I decided to go with the theory of animals cooling off. That's going to be
I like that. I'm in for it. I'm cool with that.
You're and the puns begin already. Let's go. Not even a minute. Oh, so Mar, what's the funniest thing you've ever seen an animal do to try to cool off?
Well, you always see the puppies who do their back legs, they open them really funny to cool
Okay.
down on tiles.
Okay.
But the cutest thing I have seen, was I went to one of those safaris that you drive through safari
Okay.
near Mount Rushmore several
Okay.
years ago. And there was an enclosure with a brown bear.
Okay.
It may have been the grizzly bear. I think it may have been the grizzly bear because it was by itself.
Okay.
And it was so cute because he kept getting in the water in this big pool and just kind of like playing with it. And it was just so adorable how
Okay.
it was just kind of like almost like, oh, life is good. Here I'm on vacation. And it was just so cute.
Okay. All right. So every animal kind of has their own way of doing stuff as far as cooling down. And then sometimes, especially in the middle of summer and heat waves and stuff, zoos kind of have their way of trying to take care of the animals, especially the animals that aren't really meant to be in those climates. I think that's the hard part.
Animals.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's like penguin enclosures, some really cool zoos you go in, and it's a big refrigerator basically because you're trying to keep the animals happy. But sometimes when it comes to cooling down, animals will surprise you because I think humans do it too. When you just get like unbearably hot or unbearably cold, you're willing to do some weird stuff in order to kind of cool yourself off. And sometimes you'll see some unexpected behaviors. But sometimes, you like to get on a boat, go out on the lake, stick your hand in the water, just kind of hang out, cool off.
Chilling.
With the
Hopefully
spray.
you don't capture a critter's attention.
Okay, all right. Never really thought about that.
I'm going
drive faster. Drive faster.
Actually, that reminds me of a story with Pepita.
Okay.
So we go canoeing in a river called the Peace River in Florida.
Okay.
We went canoeing for a Easter trip.
And trip. Yeah. Okay.
Ignorant me, I've never seen alligators, but when we went to this river, we rented canoes and I had Pepita with me, and it was getting super hot, super hot. It was April and it was boiling hot. In fact, I ended up with a headache and everything of how dehydrated. Well, it was so hot that I kept dunking Pepita in the water to cool her off.
Gotcha. Alligator snacks. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Who told you about your error in decision making at that point?
Actually, I heard a story of a gentleman telling me a story about he had gone to some canoeing trip and the alligator actually jumped and grabbed the other person's dog.
Oh wow, that's horrendous. And
I was like,
wait, you know what? We're gonna make an overlay like some of the promo stuff, and it's just gonna say PSA. We're gonna have a PSA overlay coming up soon. So anytime we need to teach people things or they can learn from our lessons of what not to do. So we would hit the PSA button at this point, the graphic would come out, and then we'd pause for a second, and then you would say, do not dunk your animals in croc-infested waters because they may leap out and come get them.
And the problem is, dummy me, I knew there were alligators, but because I didn't see any, it's like, oh, there must not be any around. Hello? Underwater? Like, I could have lost an arm. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, thank goodness we were okay. Like, this could have gone really wrong. We did the picnic there. I remember we had Easter eggs and everything. I'm thinking, we're literally sitting ducks.
So I actually don't know the geographical range of sloths. Are they're mostly Amazonian animals, or what?
They can go to Central America.
Okay, all right. So Central America, Amazon, that kind of stuff. So we're talking crocodile country, basically.
Pretty much, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't think they're not as far north as a crocodilians. They do have a wider range.
Okay.
Crocodiles do. Alligators do.
Okay. So we're hoping for this guy who decided it was time to cool off that there's not some crocs in the river that are going to then jump out and grab him. I've never seen a sloth do this.
I can tell you what the sloth is trying to do.
Cool off, right?
No.
Get away?
Yeah. What he's trying to do is I don't know where they found it.
Okay.
But it's pretty bad. They're moving it that far away from its territory.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we don't know the circumstances of what this happened. It could have been there was a flood and whatever.
Look at him looking around. He's mesmerized by his hand in the water. I mean, that's like a dog with his head out the window of a car while driving. He looks pretty content.
It could be part of it, but honestly, what he's trying to do, I think he's trying to hold on to, like trying to find a stick or something to go climbing. I mean, I don't perceive it as a cute thing, even though it could be that. But again, my instinct right away is like, oh my gosh, they took him out of its location, but it's really wet also, which could mean
that's what I mean. I'm gonna choose to believe that this guy is somehow like, because you have like the tourist areas, and I've seen them before where they like keep an animal. Like I've been to like hostels where they've got like a monkey at the hostel kind of thing, like depending on the areas that you're in. I'm going to choose to believe that the sloth is somehow attached to whatever this business is. And they just took him for a ride as they were going along because he looks wet.
Maybe the sloth has fun. I don't know.
I'm looking at him looking at his hand in the water, and he just looks mesmerized. He looks like a dog with his head out the window, or just, I mean, when a kid puts their hand in the water and just the pressure of the water.
I love it.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to choose to believe that.
Well, he does seem to be intrigued by it, and he's not actually jumping forward, which will make you believe he's trying to grab onto something.
If anybody's wondering, that's not construction in the background of Maria. That's Pepita throwing a little barky, snorty, hissy Pepita fit back there. That's what she's doing.
Actually, because she has a collapsed trachea, she does that. That one is actually not throwing a fit. That is actually her. Yeah.
Oh, I take Peeps. I'm sorry, I made fun of you. I apologize, Peeps. I apologize.
She don't care. She get under a blanket. She's happy.
So the one thing that was surprising to me that I didn't know, though, did you know sloths are actually 3 times faster in water than they are on land? They're actually really good swimmers.
No.
They are, they have a very good swimming ability. They can hold their breaths for up to 40 minutes.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they can just stay underwater if they want to. But like if a sloth actually needs to get somewhere, as long as there's no like pythons or crocodiles or anything in the water, like that's actually the better mode of transportation for them. Is actually not that they use it very often, but they are actually pretty. It's hard to compare because a sloth goes almost nowhere on land. So to say they're 3 times faster in the water, I don't quite know what that's saying, but
no, but they do when they are on land, they do grab as if they were like rock climbing. Like they slide as if they were rock climbing. But a cool thing about sloths is they have their own like nutritional stuff in their back, like that moss that grows on them. They actually feed off of it. So
that's kind of one of the things that you'll see them sometimes. That was the next thing I wanted to talk about was just you'll see them. The running thing is they move so slow, algae can grow on them. And yes, it does. And like Maria said, they can use it for nutrition, but it's also a form of camouflage because they have to come out of the trees to go to the bathroom, which for sloths takes a long time. This isn't a slow joke. They just don't go to the bathroom that frequently. So when they do go, it does take them a long time. So it provides a form of camouflage on the ground, on the floor of the forest. When they're either moving trees or doing their business or grabbing food or whatever it is. So it's ironic because you look at them and you're like, oh, they move so slow. Algae grows on them, which is true.
But it is true.
But it serves a purpose. So I always thought I found that kind of interesting. But yeah, I had no idea how good sloths actually were in water.
I didn't know that at all. Like elephants, we were talking about elephants being good in water and how good of swimmers they are, even though they look cumbersome. Both of them look almost incapable of, like the sloth with their 2 or 3, toes, and it's just, you wouldn't think they will be really good at it.
But fat and weight floats. I mean, if they ever teach you, like if you're ever swimming and you get in trouble, you're supposed to roll over on your back, and then if you just arch your back, you can float. So if you're swimming and you're exhausted, you just roll over and float. I mean, the human body is meant to do that. Elephants are the same way. If you ever have seen one swim, like we have a clip coming up in a video and I've told you about it before, so I don't mind mentioning it again, but it's an undershot from underwater watching an elephant swim. And he's basically walking in the water, but it's all that weight he has actually is buoyant. So he doesn't have to work that hard. He's just got to kind of truck along and you get there eventually kind of thing.
I'm looking forward to seeing that clip for sure.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty, I mean, there's not much going on. Visually, it's amazing, but it's just not something you're used to seeing. You're like, wow, okay.
That's what makes it amazing.
But we were talking about, so that would be in the wild animals cooling down. But then, like I said, there's zoos and stuff that once the temperatures kind of get a little crazy, they have to do their thing. And usually that involves either freezing like fruit and stuff and ice blocks. I've seen this for like polar bears and tigers and everything. They'll like freeze fruit, so they have to get to it and then cool down.
Yes.
And then sometimes they just gotta lay some ice down. Just let them go for it.
River otters. Look how cute they are.
But
when you go, if you ever go to the Atlanta Zoo, they have the miniature otters. And they're like smaller than, about the size of Pepita. Very small otters.
Ice, though. I would have never guessed otters like ice that much. He's just sitting there like chewing, mowing on.
This is having a blast. Oh, that is so adorable. Look how happy it is. One thing about otters, they're very playful, but they're actually very dangerous animals. People don't realize, because when you see them so cute and being friendly, but they're actually very dangerous animals. People want to pet them, and they have ended up losing toes and
well, you also
fingers.
Yeah, you don't know what they're out and about for. That was another thing that I want to talk about. Is it's interesting that otters have some of the densest fur in the animal kingdom, but it also, because it's so dense, that's part of what causes them to float. But when they're babies, it's extra dense. So the moms can actually wrap them in algae and then go hunt. So when you come across an otter, you don't know if they're trying to get back. You know, animals are very protective of their young, but the ones that have to leave their young to go hunt, you clearly don't see them, but the maternal instincts are still there to try to get back. So that might be another reason why you have to be careful around them.
And the moms actually, they constantly clean their hair, the baby's hair, so that they remain buoyant.
Exactly. It fluffs up the hair. Exactly.
So adorable. Adorable.
Unless you're in Japan. Because in Japan, apparently there's folklore of otters that shapeshift into like beautiful women and children to like kill men. There's like a folklore creature basically in Japanese.
No way to lure them. I mean, the Japanese otter was actually almost extinct, and finally is one of the animals that is coming back. So that part is good.
And then you were saying you have to be careful, but then clearly this zoo hasn't got the note, because there's a zoo in Japan that has like a reach through door where you can actually reach through and pet the otters in the enclosure.
Are you serious? I need to go there.
It doesn't say, it just says a marine park in Japan. So
I'm sure we can find it online.
And then we talked about this before. I think I had asked you once a question of it was animals doing humans' jobs. We were talking about how animals help humans and stuff. Well, in Bangladesh, they've actually trained otters, the fishermen have, to actually help them fish. So they herd the fish into an area, like they basically herd the entire school of fish right into the nets. So like the fishermen throw it out there, throw the otters out. Otters chase them. Like, talk about easy time, huh?
Yeah, but how about training the otter? Yeah, easy time, but the training of the otter was not probably that easy.
I don't know. See, I don't know that much about otters and societies and stuff because we talked about before how easily bees can learn from other bees. Like if you could teach one bee, you're fine because after that, they teach the other bees how to do whatever it was that task. So then you can just perpetuate it. But I'm not quite sure on that one with the otters.
I think usually with any animal, if there is a cost benefit to them, because if they get paid,
Yeah, exactly.
then actually they probably will do it with glee because they probably get more out of the fun and the payment because they're also very community oriented animals. So a
Usually in those
community oriented animal is going to be easier to do a business transaction with than it would be with a solitary animal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mhm.
But then you could see like in the video too, we were showing like one of their favorite pastimes is literally just sliding. Like they slide on riversides and that's their thing.
That's so adorable.
Yeah. Oh, you want to be in the shot? Aw.
Oh, you wanted to be in the shot? Okay.
No, you can be in the shot. You can be in the shot. But yeah, that's like their thing. They just get on their belly like that and they just like to slide down the mud, and slide into the rivers and stuff.
Another thing I love about otters is how they
are utterly adorable.
Huh?
How they are utterly adorable.
Utterly adorable. Yep. Otters are utterly adorable.
You started the puns early, Maria. I'm just rolling with you on this one.
Good point. Point taken. Anyway, They have a favorite rock. And
they do.
They have like a little pouch and they kind of keep their little rock there and they play with it. It's like their toy and you see them playing with the rock back and forth. It's just adorable.
Have you ever seen it? Have you ever seen an otter?
I've seen a video. I've seen videos of them playing with. I'm doing my best otter imitation.
Is that okay? All right. I wasn't sure. I was trying to kind of figuring out where you're going from there. Because as I was poking around the other day. But I don't know. Let's see before I promise it.
Is the otter there?
Let's see. Keep entertaining the people, Maria. I'm looking. You're supposed to be entertaining. Tell some puns. Tell some jokes. Guy walks into a bar. Second guy walks into a bar. You figure the second guy was the first guy hit it. I mean, yeah. Come on, Maria.
I'm so bad at telling jokes. The funny thing is, like all the fantastic, phenomenal jokes I've ever heard, once I'm like, I'm gonna have to.
There you go. Them. There's your otter in the rock. There's the otter in the rock.
Yep. That is adorable.
Rocky fun. There you go.
He's rocking it, man. He's rocking it. He's pretty good with it too. How adorable. Thanks for putting that clip. That was too cute.
Yeah. Now I've got one less clip in the folder that I need for the future, but that's okay. It's okay. I'll find another one for everybody.
You can play it again. And Chief Francis wouldn't mind being in the shot.
If the Animals Playing podcast ends up a little bit short, guys, in the future, you know why. We just burned one of the clips right there. We just totally roasted one of the clips already.
At least you didn't use it for Animals Playing with Balls.
No, because that was a round rock. And I just found that yesterday, actually, as I was researching for this video.
That's adorable. That is like one of the cuter otter videos.
Yeah.
Every once in a while in Florida, you will see otters. And it's such a sight for sore eyes to see them.
Yeah.
And it's just, and they're in the communities, near the communities. The problem is because Florida is growing so much, a lot of their forest is going away. So you don't see them as often as you used to. Like you will see bobcats and panthers, like the Florida panthers and otters. And it used to be so fun. And now it's harder to see them.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second. I'm going to adjust myself and shake the entire world. There you are.
Hitting the whole thing.
Yes, puns and earthquakes and yep, we got it all. We got it all
You
today.
should have just done it. Who
Got
cares?
it
I
all.
was talking anyway.
Yeah, and then I knew I was gonna hit the table, and then it all went from there. So now we're gonna go down.
You went downhill like the otter sliding.
Yes, I did, and now we're gonna go down a slightly dark path for you.
No.
I'm sorry. I had to do it. So can you guess what the price of admission was at a zoo in the 18th century in England?
The price to enter a zoo?
Yes.
Could it be food? Could they have done like food? Like I know there are places. No, I'm going too far with this. 25 cents.
25 cents.
Which was a boatload of money.
So you had two options. There's two options you could pay to get into the zoo.
Okay.
You could pay 3 halfpence. Don't ask me how much that is. Maybe it's 25 cents. I don't know. Does seem like a little bit high of a number.
75. 3 halves is probably 75.
Okay, so 3 halfpence. The second option was a cat or a dog.
Oh, that is horrible. I'm speechless.
They had a lion. The lion was hungry.
What does this have to do with cool animals? Cooling animals.
I'm leading into the next video. This was like the fun fact setup tease.
Oh, this was fun. Okay.
I warned you it was going to be dark
before
we started. Before I even asked the question, I warned you we were going down a dark road.
You did.
I did.
I need to chill. Basically, what I'm hearing is I need to chill.
Bro. The title of this video, guys, is going to be Animals Cooling Off. This episode was not punny. I'm sorry. That's what it's going to be.
No pun intended. Yes.
Yeah,
it's out of this world.
Not our punniest. It was our punniest episode, but it wasn't punny.
Turning into a zoo completely.
Yes. But when said lions need to cool off, a lot of times they got the enclosures where they usually have some water feature because they're domestic cats are some of the few cats that actually don't like water, and there are some domestic cats that love water, but most other big cats like water. So the nice thing is these guys in their zoo, they got a little water, they can cool off if they want to, but these guys just going to go for a stroll instead. Just kind of check out the scenery. Oh God! Fred,
the other guy's
like, okay, Fred? Hey, Fred, I think you fell, Fred. I'm sorry.
How you gonna do this, man? That was hilarious. But you see how the other guy's like trying to help?
I don't think he's helping. I think he's just kind of slowly mocking him. I don't know. I'm just.
That was awesome.
There's just that moment you're like, there's no way he's that uncoordinated. Oh no, he is that uncoordinated.
I think I was probably distracted by people. Like he was looking at people.
I've just never seen. Animals are usually really good about their awareness and stuff. You see people do that all the time. I've never seen an animal just misstep themselves.
Look how handsome they are.
Yeah, good looking.
Wow. Off you go. And the other guy is like, seriously, man? Seriously.
You good? Fred, you good?
Seriously?
You good, right? All right, cool.
Seriously. I love it. But it is trying to help, making sure his friend is okay.
See, in my mind, he's mocking him.
That's your dark sense of humor.
Right. I'm
like, oh, he's being friendly.
They feed those guys cats and dogs for meals. I think they're a little vicious. Sorry. No, this isn't England 18th century. No video camera back then.
We do have to understand they are apex predators. They are mainly protein. Every once in a while, they may have other things just to munch on, but really they're mainly a carnivore. So we couldn't expect anything less. It's just very unfortunate that it was that.
Yeah. So as I was going through, I found it interesting though that lions, I think koalas have the same quality. So we have our fingerprints that are unique. Even like identical twins don't have the same fingerprints. But lions' muzzles, like their nose muzzle print with the whiskers and all that. So let's see. I'll have to read it because I want to make sure I get it right. The muzzle of a lion is like a fingerprint. No two lions have the same pattern of whiskers. So lions have 4 or 5 rows of whisker holes, and then some have hairs and some don't. So it's kind of like ... like SOS, kind of
Okay.
old school, forming a unique
Morse.
pattern of whiskers and holes for each lion. No two are alike.
Okay, Morse.
Yeah. No, my name's Ryan. Lion's name was Fred. I don't know where Morris came from. Did you name the other lion Morris? Okay, so it was Morris and Fred were the lions? Is that what just happened there? No?
Because you said dash, dot, dash. I'm like, okay, Morse. So are you mocking me because I was trying to mock you?
I did like the double reverse whammy mock. You didn't catch that, Maria?
No, I did not capture that. There was too much coding going on there.
Oh, we went way too deep on that one. There's just too much stress going on in life. Sometimes you just need to cool off by laying in a bathtub and relaxing with some flower petals as you chill. I have no idea why there are flower petals, nor why this
I was just wondering. They're probably, he's eating it. They probably wanted to make it cute and ended up, the brown bear ended up eating it.
I don't know if that's some kind of fountain, because that's like a house looking structure. Yeah, that's a front door there. Like this is someone's front yard. I don't know if they just went backyard. Like redneck fountain and decided that I'll put a tub outside and this is going to be my water feature.
It could be that they use it in their backyard as a solitude place, and they found that the bear maybe does.
No, that's like a front door. That was like a front door. It looked like.
Oh, it could be a back door.
I guess it could be. I guess, and there's a window facing it, so you rarely would have a window facing the front door. I guess it depends how old the house is.
Yeah, I mean, I would think it's in the backyard, because why would you have a big tub unless you had horses?
Do you think this is a pet bear then? Or there just happen to be flowers that he happens to enjoy eating after he happened to break into the yard and relax in it? What's going on here?
So I'm doing video forensics is what I'm hearing?
No, I just like what... I like to make up random, completely ridiculous stories of what's going on, but what do we actually
think? What I will think will happen is he probably
what
did
had
it all
happened,
the time.
Maria?
What had happened was, I think the bear probably does it often, and they wanted to just record a video and threw flowers in it just to make it cute. And the bear, because he looks like he's having a blast, and the person who's filming is clearly near, like he's right next to him.
I don't know. I mean, if that's a wild bear, that's dangerous. If that's a backyard, how did he even get into it?
Doesn't have to have a fence.
Okay, guys, we're going to have some fun. This will be one of our questions for the day. In the comments below, or if you're in the community posts on any of the social media platforms, write what you think is going on here, because Maria and I disagree.
I honestly think the bear is just maybe goes there often and likes to go swimming.
Okay. All right. He's just yogi style, or he's like so frequent, he's just harmless at this point.
Yeah, the owner seems to, whomever is filming him, seems to be, have become friends with them. I don't know. Maybe it is a pet. I just don't.
I mean, the flowers, it's just got to be flavor. I mean, there's no nutrition there. So
flowers?
Were those flower petals?
Yeah, I think they were carnations.
Okay. I mean, it's not like it's in a bear's diet to eat something like that. So it has to just be like little.
Carnations are very tropical.
Yeah.
But apparently you can eat them. I mean, there are a lot of edible flowers that you can eat, like the daylilies. I forgot the names of couple of orchid types you can eat. There are a lot of flowers you can eat. It's incredible. Dandelions, but they're a little bitter. So
people make tea out of. Yeah, there's a lot of plants and stuff people make teas out of that aren't necessarily like tea leaf teas. That makes sense.
I like to drink jasmine tea. I think what I'm drinking is jasmine tea.
I like to drink. Personally, I like to drink Aladdin tea. That's one of my favorites.
Then you have waited until I was not drinking tea.
No, because I was really going
I
for the
almost
out
did
the
the tortilla
nose.
thing.
Yes.
I almost did the tortilla thing where they slap you and you try not to.
Okay. It's a tortilla
Have
thing.
you seen
Okay.
what I'm talking about?
No.
Oh
No.
my gosh. So it's becoming popular. I don't know why people do this, but each person has a
Oh, I
tortilla.
have seen this. Okay. All right. Sorry. I thought I was thinking of it as a cultural thing. And then my mind went, wait, they don't have tortillas in Colombia. It's arepas. I wasn't thinking as like a viral internet trend. So I was like, yeah, because The Rock did it with Chris Hart. And I'm like,
That's
why are The
right.
Rock and Chris Hart slapping each other? Chris Hart's not going to win that one. Like that's not going to go well for him.
He got several punches though.
He
He
did
really
some good
did.
ones.
I saw it on my phone and I was just laughing. It was just too hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Those two
Okay.
have such good chemistry.
My brain literally, because I went like, so here's one of the funny things. If you guys ever visit Colombia, there's no Mexican food here. Unless you go to like a Mexican food restaurant. But for some reason, and I thought the same thing, I am equally as guilty of this, but you talk to people that come to Colombia and they're expecting it to be Mexican style food, like flour tortillas and beans and rice. Nowhere near like the traditional types of food that are in Colombia. So that's kind of where I'm like, tortillas, Maria. So they do arepas, which are totally different. Like think about like what? How would you explain an arepa?
It would be like a corn, like a pita, the thickness of a pita, but also Venezuela has arepas. They're a little, each country, Venezuela, Ecuador, I mean, they have different densities of the arepas.
Okay.
But think of a thick. Some of them are small and thick, like as thick as a cookie, or some are as thin, almost as thin as putting two tortillas together, like the thickness of a pita of
Yeah.
naan bread.
Okay.
So
And it's cornmeal, but it's not sweet corn. So it's not like a cornbread or any kind of cornmeal thing we think of in the States is usually made out of sweet corn.
and it's not like a tamale either. So if any of you have had tamales, Mexican tamales, because Colombian and Venezuelan tamales are very different as well.
Yeah.
But like the Mexican tamales that are made out of corn, it's not like that.
Yeah. No, very different. So I just felt like I couldn't do this video because it's been a while. I don't think we've done one yet, actually. This was kind of more of a throw-in, fit the theme, but this is a Maria-based throw-in here. This one I thought of you. Had to go for it. But just wait. Look in the upper left corner here in just a little bit. And then look to the upper right corner of our screen. You'll get a baby version and then an adult version. Here we go. It takes a little while. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, you can see. Aw, beautiful jaguars. As you can tell, I like them because that's our logo and I chose it.
If we could pick a mascot that wasn't Pepita, that would definitely be Maria's choice. Would be the black big cats. Those are her favorites.
I love them. Look at it. How long it can hold its breath. And this one is a baby and it's just having a blast.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That was just so perfect. As you can see, the logo has a amazing, gorgeous panther, and it's just to me one of the most beautiful animals you will ever encounter. So grateful.
Also a good segue because the big cats are actually a big part of their habitat is Colombia. So I wanted to give you a little time to talk about that aspect. Since we kind of went from Colombia arepas, we might as well now go on to Colombia big cats. And we'll let Maria take the show away here for a little bit.
Well, the cool thing about the darker is they're not, I mean, you can find them sometimes in nature, but their dark color actually doesn't benefit them because just like the white tigers and things like that, they don't blend in so well with their environment. So it makes it really, really hard for them to survive. And that's one of the bigger challenges. The native people of the Amazon uses them as a symbol of strength. So you will see like the jaguar. If you see a jaguar in your as your totem animal, if you were go to like to use a little bit of more of the American terminology, if you were to have a totem animal such as a jaguar, then it's usually a symbol of a strong healer.
But they've got a lot of like reserves and preserves and stuff around Colombia for them. And I don't think people realize how small their range is for jaguars and stuff like that. That's the other part that I didn't really. We know these animals because we see them in zoos, and sometimes we're like, oh, they're part of this place. And it's funny, but because you are so infatuated with them, I actually really didn't know what the ranges and the areas of jaguars and some of these big cats. Because, you think of lions in Africa and tigers are jungle, but jaguars and some of the other big cats, I never knew what their actual habitat was. But I think
they're also. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you.
No, okay. Another cool thing that I find fascinating is they're great swimmers, which you showed us that they're great swimmers. But one of the reasons why I value them so much, besides the mythology behind them and all that mystic aspects of it, is that they are, quote unquote, I know there is no compassion in exterminating the life of another animal, but their jaws are so strong that they literally leap and just crush the skull.
Yeah.
So it's called a compassionate hunting. And I just find that so incredible, because when you look at lions, when you look at cheetahs, any other big cat, it's usually a chase and who can last the longest. Even the last video we had these big eagle hunting a big goat, and the strategy was to wear him out. So many other cats do the same thing. Now with jaguars, they can literally hunt a crocodile with one leap and just crush their skull. And I just find that so fascinating and just so beautiful. They're just such beautiful mystical animals.
I think it's interesting too when you start thinking about South America and the Amazon and stuff like that. The amount of animals that actually we see them in zoos and we know they exist in the world, but we don't know where they're from. And a lot of the sloth is big in these areas, and then you've got jaguars and the big snakes, and you've got the piranhas, and there's a lot of animals that are actually really kind of have pretty small ranges, as far not range is how far they go, but their ecosystems that they survive in. There's just so many animals in that particular region.
Yeah, the habitat, there's a lot of things happening in that ecosystem.
Yeah, but you won't find them anywhere else. Like people go to Africa, it's like the big five, I guess, in Africa. It's an elephant, lion, water buffalo,
rhinoceros,
rhino, and hippo?
Hippos and okay. Water buffaloes.
Okay.
Cheetahs. I thought cheetahs were there. Oh my gosh, I had a teacher for the big five. My aunt used to go to Africa a lot because she worked with the seed bank. Like there was a seed bank to try to protect all the seeds in the world. And the convention was in Africa. And this was like in the 90s. And I remember her bringing me a necklace with all the big five and the t-shirt with the big five. And it was just so fascinating because when you think about it, you actually have more than 5 choices of majestic animals that are in Africa. And then thinking about the ranges of wilderness in Colombia, and you realize that we also have hippos. That's just fascinating. Well, hippos is not one of the big 5, but
they were brought in though too. That's not their normal area to be.
But still, it's pretty cool to realize that they have adapted to that environment.
The
water.
Seeing them in person, hippos are just so lazy. They don't do anything. Like, I mean, I thought cats were bad sleeping like 20 hours a day, man. Hippos, they're like slowly walking towards one another under the water. And you're like, oh, we're gonna get some action. Like, nah, they are like but then they're also like deadly as can be, because once they get up and moving or they get ornery and they decide that they're not happy about something. Oh
yes. I was watching an episode yesterday called Our National Parks, and actually ex-President Barack Obama narrates the show, and I was watching Africa yesterday.
Okay.
And it was amazing talking about hippos because he was talking about the importance of hippopotamus. And they were talking in the area of Kenya on the west side. There is a particular river where they live. And when you think of hippos, you think of murky water. Like just the water, you can barely see them. Well, this particular family of I think they were like about 14. They
Okay.
will live in that clear river. So when you look at the shots, you could see the hippos.
Oh, nice.
But the interesting part is there were also fish all around them.
They're really chill. They don't react to much. I mean, you hear a lot of stories of like hippos defending some of the like antelope, the impalas and stuff like that from crocodiles like in around Africa. They're very chill, so you just don't think they're going to do much, but they do carry a lot of power and weight. But some of those are some of the more interesting stories when you read them, when you hear about like
But can you think of one reason out of the top of your head why will different fish will be surrounding hippos?
to clean them. Usually it's a cleaning aspect. Sharks have it. There's like they're
Mhm.
called pilot fish that hang out around sharks and actually clean between their teeth and stuff. Like those are amazing videos. You're like, you're a fish and you're climbing into the teeth of a shark. Like you're just begging for problems, aren't you?
That was so beautiful yesterday when I was watching this. I'm thinking, wow, I mean, the fish need to eat, but the hippos also understand that they need the services of these fish to remain clean. The skin was clean, their teeth was clean,
Mm,
and also their discard or number twos will nourish the area as well. And they were talking about
yeah.
the cycle of nutrition and feeding, and it was just so incredible.
But hippos are vegetarians, so why would a fish be threatened other than just being stepped on?
No,
Hippos are
no, 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 because you don't want them to close. They will, you know.
Yeah, because they're like they always end up on the top 5 like most like vegetarians you want to stay away from lists, basically. I
Yeah.
mean, you get this specialty like we were talking last episode about the vegetarian piranhas and the vegetarian eagles, but they're like lists that
Vultures. Vultures.
vultures. Sorry, but there's list of like the most dangerous vegetarian animals, and usually hippos are right up there near the top of those lists.
Yes. And another one that is really dangerous are moose.
Yeah, but are they vegetarians? They're not vegetarians though.
Yeah. I'm talking about the big moose that look like
Yeah, I know. I know. Like
bullwinkle.
Canadian Mounties couldn't afford a horse, got a moose. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
They are so
Okay.
dangerous.
Now I want to know are moose? Did you
Why are you
guys? We
searching?
don't know everything. When we want to know something, we either ask you guys to write something in the comments, or we just look it up ourselves.
No, when I went
Herbivores.
to
You're right. You're right. Leaves, grass, underwater plants. In the winter, they eat twigs, bark, shrubs.
dude, they're
Man,
like
those
a
things.
cow. They look like a big oversized deers mixed with a cow. I mean, they are
Oh,
vegetarian.
they're ridiculously big. Like I saw a video the other day that as I was going through stuff, and it was the context because they had it next to like a big old SUV, and the SUV didn't even come up all the way to the moose's head. Like it was like almost at the shoulder length of the moose. And then you still got the neck, the head, and the antlers. And I'm like, oh my good God.
I have a story. We were driving through Estes Park in the US, Estes Park, and I'm getting out to the bathroom and I see these big moose, like a female with her two calves. And I enter the gas station. I'm like, sir, you have moose outside. And he looked at me like, I know.
We also have beverage in the refrigerator. It's amazing. You should see it.
We may even have a bathroom for you.
With a toilet. I know it's so rare. You should go check it out.
His face was so like, lady, seriously. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry to bother you. I mean, yes, I'm a simple tourist, but thank you for squashing my dreams and hopes.
So when I lived in Vegas, we would do a lot of couch surfing. So a lot of people would come, and then we would offer our house for people would have a place to stay that were traveling and stuff. And one of the things that I liked about it, I mean, I'm a traveler, so in general, I like meeting other people and swapping stories and stuff like that. But one of the interesting parts to me when I get to hang out with either a traveler coming to my city, and I'm sure they do this with me when it's the other way around, but the look on people's faces when they haven't seen something. Like I've seen the Grand Canyon 5 times because that's where everybody wants to go. But that innocence and that excitement when someone walks down the strip for the first time or goes to the Grand Canyon, it just re-energizes you when it's like, I see this all the time. It's not, but when somebody else is like, oh my God, did you see the moose and the 2 babies? It's like, Yeah, I do need to appreciate this a little more. I know it's normal for me, but it is pretty impressive. Like it
So
is,
impressive. And the
yeah.
dam, the Hoover Dam, wow. The way they built the bridge of the Hoover Dam, and it's just breathtaking. It
Are you
truly,
talking
the
about the
whole
new one or
thing.
the old one? The over the top of the dam or the new bridge?
The new bridge that looks like a circle, like the way they were building it. I
But
think
it's
it's the
the
new
road
bridge.
that goes right over the top of the dam.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay, there's two. The original way.
I think I'm talking about the old one.
Okay, the
It's
original.
newly
There's
constructed.
only two. So basically, the original one, when they built the dam, that was the only way basically to get across there from Arizona to Nevada. Is there's a road that drives literally right on top of the dam. You got to like wind all the way down and all these switchbacks. You go across and all the switchbacks all the way up.
Oh, then I'm talking about the other one.
Because as
Because
part of
it was a beautiful bridge.
when they did NAFTA, basically, I think George Bush Jr. did it, or the third, sorry. But the agreement between Mexico, U.S., and Canada was like that one major trucking route had to have minimum 4 lanes. So they had to build that bridge because that was part of the route. So as part of the requirement, they had to build like a brand new bridge, and they started building it, and they got about a year into it, and there was a massive windstorm, and the crane came down. Like it got blown over into the canyon, basically. So they had to like rebuild the crane to restart construction. So that bridge took forever, but it's so like cordoned off that you can't even really tell you're on a bridge because you go from New Road to the bridge and it isn't like super immediate obvious. Like when you're on the Golden Gate Bridge, you know you're on a bridge. It's pretty.
That's a beautiful bridge.
It is. It really
Oof.
is.
And when you're going and you see it, like because it takes like a little curve, and then you see it on your way to Napa, and it's like, wow, it's breathtaking.
You went that way to Napa. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways to get to Napa. You can go like the back way from like Sacramento side.
No, we went through there because we wanted to see.
Yeah,
we wanted to see the bridge.
Gotcha. Okay, all right. Well, guys, I hope you had a good time. We always do. We love that you guys are here. Please, please, please leave us some comments and stuff. We love to read that, and give us some suggestions or kind of chime in on some of the debates we had for today. And yeah, please subscribe if you guys are catching us on YouTube, and or give us a like and follow us on any of the audio podcasts. And especially in the audio podcast, guys, write us some comments. I'm curious how the show's coming across as an audio only format. We've got the cameras, we're showing videos. We hope we're describing everything, but that would be a really good piece of input for us to have as we're kind of getting rolling here. But thank you guys again, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.